Good afternoon and welcome to the 2020 Economic Recession and Preparation channel. I'm your host, Tony. Thank you for joining me once again on this November 13th, Wednesday, hump day, according to the markets. Well, once again, my friends, we see the Fed Chairman, Jerome Powell, coming out and bringing us more propaganda saying that the U.S. growth remains stable. But he also said that the U.S. growth is threatened by the trade wars and global sluggishness. Well, no kidding. Duh, Mr. Powell. It seems that things that he cites, such as a healthy job market and rising incomes, is contradictory in his statement because, according to him, the Fed cut rates for the third time this year, as you know, to a range of 1.5% and 1.75%, Fed funds rate. And these series of rate cuts have kept the U.S. economy and inflation nearing its target level of, they say, this is the Fed and associates, of 2%, the level the current bank considers, quote-unquote, healthy. But Mr. Powell said that the policy is not on a preset course and the Fed will continue to monitor ongoing developments and, quote-unquote, act as needed. We see the current state of the monetary policy as likely to remain appropriate as long as incoming information about the economy remains broadly consistent with our outlook of moderate economic growth, a strong labor market. I don't know where he's seeing the strong labor market, and inflation near our systematic 2% objective. Now, in comments today on CNBC, Fed Chairman Jerome Powell says that politics play no role in this decision in lowering interest rates. Okay, he says that, quote unquote, lower rates. The new normal for America, for the U.S. economy, is lower rates and lower growth. That is the quote-unquote new normal. Well, ladies and gentlemen, newsflash for you. We have not recovered from the 2008-2009 financial crisis in which they papered over money, the TARP program, T-A-R-P, look it up, program, which they papered over a $787 billion bailout to the banks and not Main Street. So no one has recovered, and we've been stuck in this pattern of low rates, interest rates, and lower growth. As a matter of fact, Moody's, the economic financial giant, have cut their global sovereign rating outlook to negative for 2020. Okay? Now, Moody says countries that are embedded in the global supply chains that rely on trade for growth are facing a slowdown in their economies. Okay. So it's not just America. This is around the world. For 2020, Moody's has already slapped downgrade warnings on the UK, South Africa, India, Mexico, Turkey, and Hong Kong. Interestingly enough, in some of these countries in South America, there is unrest and violence going on, according to the locals that live in Chile, Brazil, Argentina. There's violence in Turkey that's going on with the currency crisis. Check it out. The Turkish lira is under extreme pressure. Hong Kong, as we know, are seeing more violent incidents with 2 students getting harmed by the police and damaged. Okay. And this is not to say we haven't even talked about the United States and China trade war, which is affecting global commodities. As a matter of fact, China today said that they're not comfortable making, the first part of the farm deal that they talked about, the phase 1 farm deal, where China was allegedly supposed to buy $60 billion worth of, $80 billion, of American farm agricultural products and farmland. Well, China has said that they're not comfortable putting a dollar amount on how much of agricultural goods, that they're willing to purchase for America. So there goes that. And these markets continue to climb, have a tepid climb, not a rocket climb, but a tepid climb, because there is risk all over. There is landmines all over. The environment is unpredictable, said Moody's. And we must not forget that these worldwide countries overall have $63.2 trillion of sovereign debt under their names. United States has over $23 trillion of sovereign debt and derivatives from Deutsche Bank to other banks. Okay, how can things be good? There is no way out of this situation, but no way out but a financial reset. Okay, a financial jubilee, and that's what we're heading towards. As a matter of fact, today Fed Chairman Jerome Powell also said he doesn't know where this is a quote, I quote Jerome Powell here. He says, I don't know where full employment is right now. So your president, these politicians, they're saying that unemployment, we're at the lowest unemployment rate, 3.6% in 50 years. But Jerome Powell says, I don't know where full employment is right now. Now, if you remember earlier on when they started this rate cut process, the first rate cut of the year, he said in his comments, he said that everything is okay, everything is fine, we're nearing full employment. Now he comes back toward the end of the year and he says, I don't know where full employment is right now. I can tell you where full employment is right now. It's down in the toilet. We have not been at full employment for at least the last 15 to 20 years. Okay, probably since before the Clinton administration that we were actually at a full employment, and in a stock market that was not overvalued by 50% as it is today. Okay, so don't be surprised if you see the stock market, the Dow Jones, continue to climb to 28,000, maybe 29,000. Because of the money that the repo market, the Fed has injected over $80 billion in repo market. He said that today, Jerome Powell said that market looks stable, quote unquote, but they will have to intervene as necessary. Do not be surprised if the markets experience volatility in December, even if there's not a rate cut, because right now Fed Chairman Jerome Powell is hinting that he'll keep rates stable, meaning that he'll keep rates unchanged. The next Fed rates policy meeting is December the 11th and 12th, so keep an eye out for that. I believe that he probably will not change it unless there is a major sluggish downturn. Okay, well, we see the downturn is here, but we can see that things are going to be taking a downturn thing here. So even if he doesn't cut rates, things are going to be sluggish in December. Look for holiday retail sales to be abysmal. People will be buying, but they're not going to be buying at the clip that they used to 3 or 4 years ago. Trust me on that. And so because of that, these retail stores that they're banking on, and these like Macy's and Target and JCPenney's and Walmart and Nordstrom's and all of these stores that the bank are going to be coming down. At the same time, consumer inflation will rise slightly because there's pressure on the goods from this China deal. So expect food prices to go up ever so slightly in most of these towns and cities in America. Also, gas prices will tick up ever so slightly, but not quite as high. Energy and food prices are going to go up, okay? Utility energy prices are going to go up in the wintertime as expected, okay? Now, low inflation expectations have also became a leading factor in the weak outlook for Japan and European economies, okay? And that's why I say this next crisis is going to be a deflationary crisis, because the velocity of money, that means the speed at which money is flowing through the economy, is going to slow down. And we also have a liquidity crisis, meaning that companies and banks don't have the cash on hand, and consumers don't have the cash on hand to bail us out of this next coming financial depression. And that's why things are going to be so critical, because by the time the Federal Reserve acts on this, time they step in and act on it, it's already 2 or 3 quarters too late. So time we get into 2021, the first quarter, second quarter 2021, we're really going to be into this recession depression, because there's just too much debt on everybody's balance sheet, including the Fed. They have $4 trillion balance sheet. They're not going to be able to unload all of that debt. Jobs are going to be tightening, as we're already seeing. Not just layoffs, but wages are stagnant. That's the key thing. Those who do have jobs, the wages are not keeping up with inflation, cost of living, let alone paying a decent wage to actually have people sustain people. And this is in blue collar, this is in white collar, this is in government, this is in private sector, whatever sector. This is happening on a worldwide scale. And so right now it seems that the Fed is just trying to calm down everybody, keep everybody lulled to sleep until after the holidays, because they don't want any trouble on their hands as the federal government and Congress is taking their breaks, as people are getting ready for the holidays and everything. And so we can pretty much expect more of the same. And I believe they're going to leave rates unchanged now. There's a 50% chance they're going to leave these rates unchanged so everyone can have a good holiday, shop up. Please don't go out and spend a whole bunch of money on your credit cards. Please don't go out and get unnecessary debt with RVs and boats and toys because of these lower interest rates, because it's a trap, okay? They're trying to lure you in and sucker you into much of this fake economy as they can. Now, what I will suggest you do in terms of survival and economic survival is to continue to build your cash reserves. Warren Buffett is doing that. He's sitting on cash reserves. His company is sitting on cash reserves of billions of dollars because they know that this stuff is overvalued. The real estate is overvalued. And the market itself was overvalued, okay? And this is, as he said, Fed Chairman said, this is the 11th year of the expansion. Now, I'm not a PhD major in federal economics, but I can tell you that 11 years of expansion is bound to come down at one point. It doesn't matter if you're in whatever market or sector you're in, okay? And that year is coming up next year, and into 2021, we're going to see a major downturn. And whoever's the president during that time is going to be blamed for it, unfortunately. Just as in the term of the New Deal and the Great Depression that we had back in the 1920s to the 30s, okay? So this deal, the longer we wait, this next recession and depression is going to last at least 5 years, maybe even 10 years, because we waited so long to reset everything that's in the bubble, okay? And we just have too much debt on our hands to be able to do anything. And with the US-China trade deal taking longer, which we have all anticipated, which I've been saying, this is going to be a year or two deal for anything. And the deal is not even going to be that great, despite what they're telling you on television, okay? So continue to store your preps. Continue to buy silver. It's on sale now. Continue to keep a cash reserve fund on hand, because when this thing goes down, we may experience blackouts or anything like that, okay? And you're not going to be able to access the ATMs or banks, or you may be able to access, but they're going to put a withdrawal limit of you only can get $250 out or $500 out. And so make sure you have some cash on hand. Make sure you have silver. Make sure you have food and water, okay? Get a water purification system just in case. Don't rely on your city tap water and all of that stuff. Please don't. If you're in the country and you're growing things, great. If you're in the city, try to learn how to make a container garden, okay, out on your patio, on your porch. Or, have a container garden so you can grow things like sweet potatoes, tomatoes, or oregano, thyme, bell pepper, sweet peppers, okay, whatever you can. But just start doing things like that, okay? Try to stay healthy, okay? Obesity is going to be the number one killer for people who have to leave, be a nomadic type of people, which America may come to. So stay healthy, stay prayed up. God will help us get through this, but it is coming, okay? They're giving you time to get ready now. Okay, we have maybe a year or two left at the most, okay, to get ready for this next reset, financial reset that's going to affect everybody, every class, middle class, upper class, lower class, whatever. So take time to prepare. I'm going to continue to prepare you as best I can. I'm going to send some more things coming down the chute in terms of preparation, but I just wanted to give you a quick update in the middle of the week of what's really going on with this economy. Thank you for joining me. Continue to stay faithful and have a great afternoon. Bye-bye.